I've been playing a ton of Doom the Dark Ages. I needed to make the Slayer helmet, but I wanted something that was made 100% by me. And the first step of that process is learning to 3D model. So let's get started right now. I started by doing Blender Guru's donut tutorial, which really got me comfortable with navigating and using some of the different tools. And then things got increasingly more complicated. I inserted some reference pictures, and using a plane, I slowly started building up a base mesh for my helmet. I'm extremely happy with how the model came out in the end. If you're interested in the files and want to give them a try, a link will be in the description below. And we could go ahead and get this thing printed just like that. With everything looking nice, we could move on to the sanding. To start prepping the helmet, I used my electric sander with 180 grit sandpaper to get rid of those layer lines. After that, I moved on to hand sanding with a 220 grit. Next up was to try and close some of my seams. The helmet was printed in 6 different pieces, so before I went any further, I wanted to get a head start on cleaning those up. And the time had come to move on to the classic Bondo acetone combo. This is a thinned out Bondo mixture that fills in any layer lines that I missed. Once that was dry, I wet sanded with a 400 grit sandpaper. And last, I applied 3 coats of Rust-Oleum 2-in-1 filler primer, sanding in between with 800 grit sandpaper. With that all done, it was time to move on to the painting. To base coat, I started with a Krylon matte black. I followed that with a layer of chartreuse for the green parts of the helmet. To add some shading and definition to my seam lines, I lightly traced them with some black through my airbrush. I masked the helmet off and it was time for the silver. I used a Rust-Oleum metallic silver to start filling in these areas. To fill in the smaller details, I used this satin silver metallic. While the silver looked great, it needed to be a lot darker to match my reference images, so I layered dark gray on top of it, followed by some black, and this is when the paint job really started to come together. I masked off the spikes and painted them with that same silver paint. I painted the yellow panels off camera and weathered them real quick, then I moved on to detailing some of the bolts. I popped in a spare welding visor, and with that, we were ready for some glamour shots. Thank you for watching. For anyone interested in this file or any that I make in the future, they can be found on my Etsy store. I wanted to give a huge thank you for the support on my last video. I think I got more subs from that one than all of my videos combined, which is insane. I hope you enjoyed the build, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing.